Hey, fellow travelers, this is Matt from William Henry. One more time, hope this finds you well. This weekly dispatch from the files of William Henry. Sometimes I like to focus on old or techniques and materials that we use, little tidbits from history. This week is about a relationship that has meant a lot to me personally and professionally and to William Henry at large. And that is with my good friend Zac Brown of the Zac Brown Band. Zac and I met in 2012 or 2013. I was at a cutlery fair, a knife show in Atlanta. He hails from that area. And he showed up at my booth. He already had a couple William Henry pieces. He was a big fan, and I was a big fan of his music. And it was great to meet him. He was very complimentary. He spent 15 or 20 minutes, bought a few pieces, and we traded information. And off he went, and that was really cool. You know, what a nice guy, and figured that was that. And about a month later, he left me a voicemail, and it was very concise, and I'm going to quote, dude, these knives are the shit. That is all. So that was the message from Zac Brown. Made me smile, still makes me smile. And over the next couple months, we continued to stay in touch, and we started talking about doing a collaboration, something together. He was, at that point, just starting a really amazing a charity called Camp Southern Ground, which has grown exponentially in the years since. And I was really impressed by his vision and wanted to do something with him to support that effort in its early phases. So we talked about, let's do a knife together, let's do something. We couldn't quite figure it out. He's super busy, and I was busy, and he was busier than that because his life's really big. And we weren't able to quite get there. And finally he said, Matt, why don't you just fly to Atlanta, come stay with me, and if we just get away from all the hubbub and the things that are distracting us, we can put this together. It was a great invitation. I took him up on it. I flew to Atlanta, and he'd met me for a grand total of 15 or 20 minutes at that point. And he put me up in his guest house for an evening, and we spent into the wee hours kicking ideas around, getting to know each other. And after a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit of whiskey, we came up with the master plan for our first collaboration. And it was I really wanted it to be personal to him, to be really specific. We took one of his very early guitars. This is Zac Brown. He has a lot of guitars now. One of his very early guitars that he no longer played. And we, as much as this may pain a few of you to hear, we destroyed that guitar. And we harvested and salvaged all of the wood that we could from that guitar to make inlays on a limited edition Zac Brown Band knife. So that's what we did. We were able to make 84, 86, I don't remember, numbered pieces using the wood from that guitar, with a really cool bronze ZBB Zac Brown Band sort of saddle laser welded onto the clip. It was the special limited edition, and we donated 20% of all the proceeds to Camp Southern Ground. It was really successful. It was a really fun project to do. We continued to stay in touch. I managed to catch him at some of his shows. And 3 years later, he was getting ready to launch the Jekyll and Hyde album, which is 2 or 3 albums ago with Zac Brown Band. And he was developing this amazing artwork for the album cover. And at the same time, I had developed this really cool idea for a pendant that would actually hold anywhere from 1 to 3 guitar picks. So it was a beautiful pendant you could wear around your neck, and there's your favorite pick right there, secure. And I hadn't done anything with it, so we just were kicking around ideas, and I said, well, what if we took this amazing artwork off of your album and rendered it onto this pendant idea that I have, sort of sculpted for, in silver and bronze for generations. And that was a quick yes, and so we worked it up, and we were able to launch this Jekyll and Hyde pendant with, at the same time as the release of that remarkable album from Zac Brown Band. And again, 20% of the proceeds, 20% of the revenues from the sales of all those pendants over many years went directly to Camp Southern Ground. So it was really successful. I'm a big fan of Zac Brown, the band. I'm a big fan of him personally. He does really great stuff. He commits and he really jumps into things that he's passionate about, not just music, and that includes this amazing charity. So if you want to learn more about Zac Brown's charity, campsouthernground.org. They do great work with kids, with underprivileged communities, with veterans. So a really neat organization, a really cool guy, and it has been a privilege to work with him, and I look forward to the next project. So there is just a little tidbit from the William Henry Files. Y'all have a great day.